right, let's get this party started. Hello, everyone. Soul Commodore back at you again, finally. But welcome on in. We're doing some more live drawing here today. But hello, everyone. Hello, Gage. Hello, Nat. Hello, Flambe. Hello, Base Windu. How are y'all doing? I don't think I have to cook dinner, so I can hang out a little longer than normal today. Nice. Sorry for the raid. No problem. No problem. I never expect a raid, so raids are always a nice little surprise. But hey, it's even nicer that all y'all are here. After an unintended hiatus through most of April, but hey, we're back. We're back. Thanks, Nat. It's good to see you all too. So the last time we were working on a drawing, we were working on this particular drawing here. I did clean up this a little bit more. The striations there are still like messy, but they're a little more even this time. So now this piece is complete. I wanted to come bother you yesterday, but no traffic had to ruin my plans, right? I hope your voice comes back though. It's one of those things that's like having lost my voice before too. Like it's always annoying. So hope you end up feeling better soon. But now that this piece is done, we're going to be starting a brand new. Also, someone remind your boy to at some point go get a new phone cord, because I really appreciate Video Ninja having a site that allows you to stream directly from the internet, but everything ends up kind of washed out. When I could use, because I mean it is using front camera, but I don't know, there was something about the OBS camera app that I was using before my cord crapped out. That just, it looked crisper, it looked nicer, but that's neither here nor there. Let's get to some sketching. But how's everybody doing? You might have seen that I was planning on coming back yesterday, and then traffic kind of ruined my plans, but that's okay. And then I was considering maybe streaming on Monday, but I had some election anxiety because we had our federal election up here in Canada, and hopefully your art stream motivates me to do some of my own. Hey, I hope so. But if not, that's okay. I mean, your art needs to get done when it needs to get done, right? You can't force inspiration. You can't force motivation. Seems like you guys did better than us. Yeah. So basically, the party that I was hoping would win won. It was more of a strategic vote because of the parties here in Canada, I lean much more toward the NDP, which is like the left-wing party. Liberals are also left-wing, but I'll get to that in a second. Basically, we have a bunch of parties here in Canada. We have the Liberal and Conservative, which are the closest, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? The closest approximation to Democrat and Republican that you guys have in the States. Although the current Republican Party resembles nothing like our current Conservative Party. Although our Conservative Party, the leader kind of wanted to go that way, but we'll get to him in a minute as well. And then we have the left-wing, what's supposed to be like a Labour party, which is the NDP, the New Democratic Party. Then we have the Bloc Québécois, which is basically centralized in Quebec. It's kind of their own like homegrown party. Then we have the closest that we have to like the alt-right, like MAGA type, which is the PPC, which they got less than 1% of the vote, so thankfully they were kind of rendered mute. They didn't get a single seat in the House. It's all good. And then a bunch of independents. Like there's like every riding has their own independents. This one is from my boyfriend's birthday card, and his birthday's on the 12th. Oh, well, first of all, happy early birthday to him. Um, but hey, yeah, I'm sure he will appreciate getting that card from you whenever it is that you get it done. Um, you know, I've given my wife birthday cards and stuff days late, because I just ran out of time, or just the inspiration for the card didn't hit me. So um, yeah, thank goodness. So yeah, the Liberal Party ended up winning. It's a minority government. It's not a majority government, which means you need 172 seats in the House for a majority government. The Liberal Party got, I believe, 168 or 169. I think it was 168. Um, but don't quote me on that. It's one of the two. Which means it's a minority government, but they'll probably team up with. Oh, I also forgot. There's the Green Party. There's the Green Party, which is also left wing. Um, there's the Green Party. Uh, but the Liberals will probably team up with the Green Party and what's remaining of the NDP, because they had a horrendous election. Oh my goodness. I think they won like 7 seats. They usually win like 40 or something. Anyway. Anyway, the Liberals won the election. The Conservatives remain as the opposition party because they got the second most seats. But on the global scale, I think probably there's only a handful of countries in which our Liberal Party is truly like left wing. Certain, on a global scale, our Liberal Party would skew more center right, but mostly because of like fiscal stuff. It's more central than anything. Certainly not far left, but heaps better than the Conservative Party in terms of policy and everything that I personally agree with. I mean, in any other election across the globe, Mark Carney would probably be seen as a centrist, like our Prime Minister currently, Mark Carney, would probably be seen as a centrist or even like center-right candidate. But he's our left-wing candidate, and he won, and he apparently had, like, from what has been seen, like, he has a brilliant mind for economics. So hopefully he's able to steer us through what are going to be some very tough times economically coming up, due to a myriad of reasons that are a little terrifying, if you will. But the important thing is that the Conservative Party and their leader did not win, because a lot of people have been calling him Maple MAGA. He's used a lot of like slogans and talking points that are very clearly modeled after the Republican Party. And Canada basically said no to that. Not overwhelmingly. There's a lot of rural areas that still voted Conservative, but that's to be expected. But I will have to say that I'm happy with the outcome of the election. Hey, yo, Retro Homebrew, welcome on in. How are you? We're just talking about our federal election that we just had. Because I'm cautiously optimistic about the outcome. Like politically, I'm much more aligned with like I said, the NDP and the Green Party, really. But the Liberals are a lot better than the Conservatives, and what happened to the Conservative leader. So here's the thing. Before President Trump opened his mouth about the 51st state and all that kind of stuff, the Conservatives were looking at gaining a majority government because everyone was sick of our previous Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, who is, of course, he was a Liberal Prime Minister. But then the whole 51st state thing happened, and tariffs happened, and Pierre Poilievre, the Conservative leader, didn't really say a whole lot against Trump at the beginning. Whereas the other parties, well, except for one, the PPC, but a lot of the other party leaders were like, absolutely not. We are Canadian, we are a sovereign nation, we will stay that way, right? So you combine that with the fact that Pierre Poilievre also was running in a riding, because each candidate, each leader of the party also has their own home riding that they're also campaigning in, right? And his riding, Carleton, which is right near Ottawa. Um, can I explain why Trudeau was a dick? It's really hard to hear what's going on outside of the U.S. when it's so gross in here. Um, so basically, with Trudeau, a lot of people, I mean, conservatives didn't like him to begin with. Um, on the whole, he made a lot of campaign promises that he didn't follow up on. He was seen kind of as a lame duck prime minister. Now that's not foregoing his accomplishments, because he did accomplish a fair bit, but he just kind of wore out his welcome. Um, and he wasn't. It seemed like nothing was getting done. You also combine that with the fact that a lot of economic stuff going on in Canada, um, like the housing crisis, what they say is an immigration crisis, all happened under Trudeau's watch. Even though he didn't implement any of that, that was implemented with, like, you got to go back to like the Stephen Harper government, the conservative government, that kind of started that landslide with cost of living going up and all that kind of stuff. So Trudeau was like, also a lot of people didn't like the fact that he implemented mask mandates. You know, that was more on the conservative side, all that kind of stuff. Um, so was he that bad? Not really, but it was time for a change. Um, so every candidate runs in their own riding while they're vying to become the prime minister, right? Um, and it's not uncommon for a smaller party leader to not win their riding, because that sometimes happens, right? Um, but this time around, in the span of like 3 months, because of mishandling, because of Trump, because of just stupid comments, and because he wasn't very active in his own riding, and Pierre Poilievre also stated that he wanted to cut government jobs, and a lot of government workers live in the riding that he's in. Pierre Poilievre not only lost the election, the bid to become prime minister, he also lost his riding, which that doesn't happen to the major party candidates very often. Which, I don't know, it's so funny to me. Um, yeah, it's so funny. And he lost it to a liberal, and it was because 79% of the people in his riding actually went to go vote, which isn't very common at all. Um, that's how unpopular he was in his riding. Um, and because of that, there's a lot of question as to whether he's going to stay on as the conservative leader, the leader of the Conservative Party, because he's kind of lost the faith of everyone within his party. Well, not everyone. He's probably still going to vie to be the leader, but who knows? All I know is it's really, really funny. Prime Minister Mark Carney won his riding. The NDP leader Jagmeet Singh didn't win his riding. And one of the two co-leaders for the Green Party didn't win his. And then the PPC idiot didn't win his riding either. So, but I didn't. No one expected him to. But anyway, that's a long story short. I'm happy with the outcome. Now we just wait and see what the Liberal government is going to put in place, and hopefully it helps alleviate some of the financial tensions that everyone is under. Hopefully he's able to like guide us through the storm that is brewing with the politics down south, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm happy. I feel like I can breathe again, because me, my wife, a lot of our friend group, like everyone was fairly on pins and needles over what was going to happen. So we'll see. And moreover, Greens lost their second seat. Yeah. Which is unfortunate. But I feel like a lot of people, like the writing was on the wall with the fact that, it essentially became like a strategic vote. But yeah, that's what was going on with that. That's why I was a little nervous on Monday, but things worked out. Things worked out. Also, the Padres are coming off of a 2-game win streak. They just swept their series against the San Francisco Giants, so I'm happy about that. It's it's been a good week. Um, but yeah, also I'm not a political expert, so please, if you're interested in what happened with the Canadian election, and where everybody stands on it, it's I would suggest that you go research it on your own, because I shouldn't be the only voice that you hear on it. You know, uh, but that would be my recommendation, is go read what some experts actually have to say about it. Um, you know, because I'm certainly not that. All I know is that I'm happy with the outcome. I'm happy that at for the moment at least. Um, though by far you might be my favorite Canadian. Oh well, thank you. I do. I appreciate that. um, but yeah, I'm very happy that not only the women, LGBTQ, and other people of color in my life, but across the country, um, don't have to worry about their rights being infringed upon or stripped from them, um, with the current party in power. They don't have to worry about that. Um, they don't have to worry about a whole lot of Trump-like rhetoric coming out of Parliament Hill. Um, so yeah, I'm relieved, and now it's time to make sure that that groundswell doesn't continue to expand. You know, um, you do not know many. Fair. Well, hey, I will take it. I will take it. I'm not one to look a gift horse in the mouth. um, but yeah, that's the long and short of what was happening in Canada this week. Um, is a lot of political happenings, but also the Toronto Maple Leafs were up 3 games to none in their series against the Ottawa Senators, and they've lost 2 games in a row. Which kudos to the Ottawa Senators, because the Ottawa Senators have been a laughing stock for a while in hockey, and then this year they got it together. They started getting it together last year, and then this year they really got it together and put together a playoff team. And now they've got a good chance of winning the next 2 games, one of which I think is either tonight or tomorrow night, and they have a chance to sweep the Leafs, which would be incredibly hilarious, because if there's anything the Toronto Maple Leafs have been known for as of late, it's choking in the playoffs, when they already have a big lead. so, so we'll see what happens there. But yeah. More importantly, though, how is everybody else doing? How y'all doing? Hope y'all are doing okay. Not too shabby? Nice. Nice. Good. Good. I'm glad to hear it. I'm just realizing that I think I made this figure too big. All that jabbering I was doing. But yeah, I just love when people shoot themselves in the foot, because yeah, like they polled a lot of people in the Carleton riding, and one, I'm sorry I'm getting back to this, and then I'll stop talking about it. But yeah, Pierre Poilievre, again, the conservative leader. Yo, Mark, thank you for the raid. My goodness. Let me give a shout out here. What were you doing? Oh, iRacing. Nice, nice, nice. Don't worry about it. I'm always talking. It's all good. Welcome on in. Thank you very much for the raid. Um, for those of you who may not know me, my name is Soul Commodore. I'm an artist, and I play games sometimes. And right now, I just got done recapping what happened with the Canadian elections and how happy I am with the outcome. because I am a left wing. Uh, I'm a left-leaning person. Not even leaning. I'm purely left-wing. Um, I don't agree with fiscal conservatism when it comes to cutting down on government funds or cutting down on social programs for the sake of saving money. And I don't agree with any sort of tenet of social conservatism. Like, fuck off with that shit. Um, yeah, so I'm happy with the outcome. Um, and yeah, for those of you who don't know me, I'm an artist. We're doing some drawing today. If any of you got to raid and run, if you got to go to the bathroom, you got to go take a rest, you got to go eat something, please feel free to. You are not obligated to stay. I do appreciate y'all being in here. Mark, I appreciate you trusting your community with me. It means a lot. And yeah, basically, I was just saying that the writing that our conservative leader, the leader of the Conservative Party, um, Pierre Polyev, he was never in his riding. Like he didn't really campaign much there at all. And on top of that, he basically said that one of the things he wanted to do once he got into power, once he became prime minister, was to cut a whole bunch of government jobs. And Carlton, the riding that he was campaigning in, um, a lot of those people are government workers who are faced with a dude who was like not even campaigning there, saying that he was going to basically possibly cut their job. So it's really no wonder why he lost his riding. I just find it hilarious. But yeah, I'm gonna start actually with his shoulder. I think that's the logical thing to start with this figure, is to mark out the shoulder first. But how was your stream, Mark? Hope it went well. And of course, if anyone has any questions, um, please feel free to ask. But again, I am not an expert in Canadian politics. I just know what my own personal politics are, and I can only speak to those. And again, I am happy with the outcome, and just hope that I just hope that it works out. And then if it doesn't, then we have another election, and I pick a candidate that more aligns with my views and might actually do things. Which hopefully by that time it's a new NDP candidate who you know put some lights a fire with the party. I'm gonna do a Doge. Surely that'll be popular. No, not at all. Lack of awareness, know your audience, campaign basics. Yeah, yeah. It also didn't help that his whole campaign was basically like F Trudeau, and then Trudeau stepped down, and then they a thing that was really unpopular here was the carbon tax on gasoline for like vehicles. It was a tax that was levied on top of the actual price of gas, right? And it was unpopular for a lot of people. I always thought it was kind of a half measure. Um, and so Pierre's whole thing became like basically verb the noun, in terms of his campaigning. So one of his big things was axe the tax, right? And one of the funniest things I've ever seen. It was good as I prepared for it. Spoiler: I didn't prepare for it. Oh no! Oh no! Yeah, did you crash? uh, One of the funniest things I've ever seen was I was at the gym. This was right after Mark Carney basically won the leadership for the Liberal Party and would be effectively running for prime minister. He became, because he was filling in for Justin Trudeau, he became the prime minister and then called an election so that he could actually be formally elected prime minister, if that's the way that the country wanted to go, which it was. So again, the conservatives were all axe the tax, axe the tax. And that was their big thing, because again, I cannot understate how unpopular the carbon tax was, right? So it was all access taxes. I was at the gym on the treadmill, and there were two TVs, right? There was a CP24, which is like a local like news station that just plays news and like happenings and goings on, and then there was a sports channel, right? Um, so I'm on the treadmill. I'm watching these TVs. I'm doing a little run, and I see on Sportsnet the political attack ad that was all about axe the tax and carbon tax Carney because he had a hand in, I guess, installing the carbon tax under the Trudeau government. I don't know. Anyway, that was the allegations levied against him with this attack ad. And on the news, it was Mark Carney's first act as prime minister is to abolish the carbon tax. And I was like, oh, oh, the conservatives are going to have to pivot now. Oddly enough, Canada's first carbon price came from the political right in BC, where the opposition NDP ran on the Axe the Tax as their slogan. Interesting. I did not know that. I had no idea. That's very interesting. Again, I think I'm making this figure too big. Maybe instead I kind of mark out where the top of the head is, where I want it to be, which is right about here. Okay, we're pivoting once again. Also, I apologize that we haven't done actually much drawing with this stream. Yeah, like I was saying, I hope y'all have had a good week so far. Hope you've been holding it down, holding it together. And if not, hey, I hope this serves as a bit of a respite for you. That's what I try to. That's how I try to treat things here. Is just a nice place for people to come together, relax, have a good time, watch some art or some games, whichever day it is. Which, oh, in case anybody missed it, so next week, my wife begins coaching Dragon Boat again. So the Tuesday streams that were for Paper Mario 1000 Year Door are now going to be on Wednesday instead. So basically, the gaming stream of the week is going to be Wednesday instead of Tuesday because she coaches Wednesday nights. So instead, we're going to hang out on Tuesday night, and then while she's coaching, then I'll stream. You know, just so everyone has a heads up. And of course, I'll post that change of schedule on all the like on Discord and all that. Speaking of, I always for I always forget this. It's supposed to automatically be popping up. I don't know why it's not. But there we go. That command finally works. Gage, you'll be proud of me. Let's see what else is going on. There is a gallery downtown that I'm gonna see if I can get the tracking show in. That's the painting. The painting behind me is uh, part of that collection. I'm gonna see if I can get that into a gallery downtown. Yeah, I finally got it working at long last. So we'll see if they accept my proposal for that. You know. Hey, Mio, it is a soul. Welcome on in. How are you? All right, I'm glad your headaches are cleared up. Welcome back. Oh, yeah, thank you, thank you. Yeah, no, I had a string of what ended up just being migraines because I've had them for like a couple of years now. I thought they were cluster headaches, but it turns out they're more akin to migraines and cluster headaches. And I had like a bunch, like in a row. I was a little worried, but I'm all right. Having a dark chocolate cocoa. Nice, nice. A lot of stress is gone. Very nice. I'm glad. I'm glad. Stress is never fun. We got into elections things and I forgot. Hey, no worries. No worries. No problem at all. But yeah, it turns out it's not anything more serious than just I just gotta deal with migraines. It's funny though, because they're always like, well, try to eliminate your triggers. It's like, well, I don't know what triggers them. So just gotta just gotta try. But you know, I'm sure that's a discussion that a lot of people, if anybody in chat suffers from migraines too, I'm sure that's a discussion that you're pretty familiar with. All right, chiropractor in case your migraines are caused by pinched nerves. Hmm. Fair. There's an ear piercing that's supposed to help, but that's a body mod commitment. I mean, ear piercing's all right. Never had my ears pierced. Noises and smells trigger yours. Ah, fair, fair. Yeah, I wish I knew what triggered mine, but I'm not sure. Not sure. But hopefully, I don't have to have another one for a while, because that was a rough time. Just because I hadn't had that many in succession before, which is what got me kind of worried. But like I said, it's all good. My dad stopped his migraines by learning how to crack his lower back. Discs were pinching nerves there. I see. I see. Interesting. Huh. Isn't it amazing how sturdy and yet how fragile the human body is? I remember seeing a story on Reddit years ago, which I mean is Reddit, so who knows if it's true. But it was a thread basically about the fragility of the human body, and this dude was like, um, his brother raced motorbikes, and he basically did a flip and had an accident like during a race, and his bike landed on top of him, right? And everyone was rushing over, like the EMTs and all that, because I mean that's a pretty serious thing. And he's like, my brother just had some bruises, like a BMX, not BMX, like a motorbike landed on him during a race, and he just walked away with some bruises. And of course, he got checked out to make sure there wasn't anything internal, but yeah, just bruises. And then he's like, I got up off of my couch to get like a glass of water, and I dislocated my knee. So yeah, the human body's a wonderful complex machine that has the weirdest breakdowns. I can handle most noise, but that super bass that some people do to their cars that vibrates hell itself while they go down the road, that's an instant trigger. Ah, fair, fair. Yeah, I definitely understand that being a trigger. That's always the way, isn't it? Yeah, this poor guy just got up off his couch and dislocated his knee. I am very thankful and I am very grateful to the fact that I haven't had any serious injuries. Like, I've wrenched my back pretty good deadlifting before, and I've strained this muscle here before, which was really annoying because I was working a labor job, basically like lifting things all day, and I did not have like basically like I didn't have enough sick leave to like take off the time that I needed to have that heal. So it was like, well, I guess this is just gonna hurt for a while. Then it eventually went away, and now I don't work at that job anymore, so it's okay. I now work at a job where if I needed to take multiple weeks to let something heal, I'm able to. So I'm very thankful for that because I'm very lucky. Not a lot of people get that opportunity. The lack of sick leave in Ontario is a joke. Yeah, especially in the wake of COVID. Like, you would think some of these like private companies would wise up. Even like some of the government jobs, like you can do with some more sick leave. But yeah, no, sick leave is a joke. It's ridiculous. Vacation too, like all the leaves are a joke. Wonder people get burnt out. I looked it up. It's a Dave piercing. Ah, fair, fair. Well, I'll look that up. To see. It's like, thank you, Gage. Considering that's illegal, I wish it was enforced more. Hmm. Fair, fair. Like that's the thing. Like when I had speakers in my car, because my speakers, I've got a 2001 Camry, and the speakers that are also like 20 something years old finally gave up the ghost. So I've been using like a little Bluetooth speaker in my car because I'm one of those people where like I can technically afford to get new speakers, like just very cheap, like run of the mill, like just off the line speakers, nothing crazy. I can afford them and I'm just gonna put them in myself, but I have that thing where like I can't really I have a hard time justifying my own purchases for stuff like that because I don't need them. Like the Bluetooth speaker's fine, but when I had actual speakers, like I like to listen to my music loud in my car, but not like that. Not to the point where like you can hear the music outside my car. My job is kind of okay, policy in terms of PTO, but it could be better or worse. Fair, fair. I'm glad that it's at least kind of okay. Camry gang, that's right. At least 10% of the cars in Toronto aren't even street legal. Yeah, I've seen a few of those. The thing that always gets me with listen, get the car that you want as long as it's legal. Get the car that you want if you're able to afford it. I'm not gonna judge you, but I see some people like in like souped up sports cars, and it's like, where are you driving this thing? It's not like there's an Autobahn here. It's not like hey, you're not gonna be able to drive that car to its full potential. Like, what are you doing with it? It's just a waste. I mean, it's a waste to me, but It's not my car, so it's not my car. It's not my money. For my older Camry, I had a little radio plug-in thing that I could do Bluetooth from my phone to the car speakers via an unused radio station. It plugged in the cigarette thingy. Ah, yeah, I have that same thing. Um, the thing is, like, the my speakers don't work anymore. Before that, I had like an actual like aux cable that you connected through the cassette. So that was great because you didn't have to rely on like a radio station that didn't work. You just put in the cassette, press play, hooked up the aux cord um, to your headphone jack, and it would just play straight from there. That was great. But then the cassette the cassette deck broke, so then I had to do the Bluetooth like plugging into the electronic volt thing. Um, so I had that for a while, and then my speakers broke. So now that doesn't work anymore. So now I've got like the little Bluetooth thing. So compensating for something. Cars are just as much a hobby as a transportation for some people. Uh, some people was almost me. I used to be big into cars, and yeah, hey, that's fair enough. Like I'm not gonna yuck anyone's yum. I don't get it, but again, it's not for me to get. It's not for me to understand. I'm sure there's plenty of people that don't understand my obsession with um, well, vintage records for say, let's say, um, or some of the other things that I'm interested in. Fair. Your Camry was 2005, so it only had a CD player. Fair enough. Fair enough. It's different if you make the argument that car design is art. I mean, I would say it is. I would say it is. Tram design is art. True. I mean, I would definitely say that car design is definitely art. Um, it's definitely an art, engineering art, actual like visual art, all that kind of stuff. Um, and I do like my car. I do like working on my car. I do like doing stuff. Like I just replaced my brakes not too long ago, right? I do like all that kind of stuff. Um, and hey, if you want to have a Lambo, uh, Murcielago just driving around, um, Toronto on the city streets, not being able to drive it to its full potential, hey, more power to you. Um, I'm glad you can afford it. I'm glad that you're able to get your money's worth out of it that way. Um, it's just a shame that you can't drive it to its full potential. SUVs ain't art. I would commit crimes to have my mom's cherry red Camaro from the 70s. Ah, fair, fair. I mean, Camaros are nice cars. I totally get that. My dad, when he was younger, one of my uncles, like one of his older brothers, was very much into cars too. Very much into cars. He was a whiz with cars, from what I hear. And my grandmother, my dad's mom, uh, basically commissioned him. Commissioned. There was no payment involved. Basically, over the summer, basically instructed my dad, um, one of his older brothers, like my one of my uncles who was into cars. Um, well, she instructed him, and then he got my dad and another one of my uncles to help him out. Um, they basically spent an entire summer, their entire summer break, rebuilding a transmission on my grandmother's car, and they got it done. But my dad, to this day, says that if there's one thing that he will never do again in his life, it's rebuilding a transmission. Just absolutely unequivocally no. Okay, but now I want to see a souped up street racer SUV with underlights. Cars have become less colorful. I've noticed that too. The Hulk machine from Tokyo Drift. I know what you I know what you're talking about. Just finishing up the sleeve here. There we go. Now, let's move over to the other side. Yeah, I suppose it's more of a van, but I still think the comparison counts. It's close enough. It's about right. Yeah. Speaking of work and personal time off and everything, we because things still need to run, they do kind of like a summer leave rollout at my job, just to see like who's requesting what days off to make sure that there's like enough coverage and all that for the people who are going to be gone. And thankfully, all of our leaves got approved, so we had to like officially put them in, uh, like actually like request them through the system. So I did that today. So I've got all my vacation time booked off. Oh, I see. I see. That's what that sleeve is doing. There's a weird shadow on this sleeve, and I wasn't quite sure what it was doing. I hear there's a class action lawsuit about that farcical Phoenix pay system. That wouldn't surprise me. It's not a great system by any stretch of the imagination. People not getting paid what they're supposed to be, people not getting paid at all because the system just screws up. Yeah, not great. This is one of those cases where truth is stranger than fiction, and this sleeve is just kind of a weird shape, so I'm just gonna fudge it a little bit rather than fight with it. So yeah, the fact that there's a lawsuit, that does not surprise me one bit. I hope the workers win. To be honest, nobody's got time for that. Everybody should be paid what they're supposed to be paid. All right. So there's our first figure. And our second figure is going to be over here. Oh, goodness gracious. So obviously, this figure is going to be the one whose face is abstracted in some sort of way. Not quite sure how I'm going to abstract it yet, but thankfully, I don't have to worry about that yet. Now, how much of this figure do I actually want on? Because this figure is pretty large. How much of this figure do I want here? I want at least the bill of his hat on. Then the rest can be off. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I think. Just gonna check something on my computer real quick, and then we'll continue. Bear with me while I go check this out. Okay, there we go. All right, let's get back to this. So this figure is taller, so I'm gonna place like the bill of the hat here. Almost off. hair. Come down here because this figure has dreadlocks. So those are going to go here. I'm actually going to draw on the tape a little bit just to get a good sense of where everything goes. Here. Sorry, I went a little quiet there. I got into the zone again, as that happens every once and again. So the chain is here. It's a shadow that kind of curves around to here and it goes down, matching up with the shoulder blade. A lot of shadow on the back of this shirt, which is going to be fun to work with once I actually get to the charcoal stage, I must say. No worries. It's fun watching artists in their flow state. Fair. There are different textures of charcoal, right? Do you tell them apart by feel? Are they visually different? Um, so with charcoal pencils, there are definitely different textures, much like with pencils themselves, right? Because there are different like um, grades of pencil. So the pencil that we're all used to is like your standard pencil, like HB is the is what that is, and then you can it separates into H's and B's, depending on like the hardness and softness and this basically the softer the lead in a pencil, the darker tones you can get. Um, and much the same with charcoal pencils. It's not so much like a HB system with that, but there are grades that are labeled like the ones I use, generals. There are like numbers and letters that are involved, but basically there's like hard, medium, soft, and extra soft. Um, and you can get darker tones with the soft and extra soft, which is what I really like. They also feel really good. The hard almost feels like scratchy on the on the paper, almost like the way it feels like coloring on or drawing on this tape. Um, like there's a much grittier texture to it. I don't really like the hard pencils all that much. Medium is all right, uh, but soft and extra soft are where they are. Is where it's at for me. Um, and that's basically how you tell it apart. The most of the charcoals that I use are in pencil form. Yeah. Now with the compressed charcoal sticks, there are different grades of those, but I can't say for sure what those feel like anyway because I haven't used those in years. Like I think the last time I used like an actual charcoal stick as opposed to charcoal pencil was probably 2018. Yeah. So it's been a while, so I can't really speak to those, but there are different grades of those as well. Um, but yeah, you can definitely feel the difference. And then visually, in terms of difference, is the softer the pencil, generally the darker the tones you can get out of it, um, and the harder the lighter the tones. Um, but that's in a very basic sense how it works. Yep. Thanks for asking, because I don't think I've ever actually really talked about that before. Um, the different grades of the pencils and whatnot. Oh, okay, I just remember high school using art using blocks, but it's very basic. Here's a block of charcoal, play with it. Yeah, yeah, exactly, and not too dissimilar from the stuff that I used to use when I was in school. Um, and even in university, like I actually didn't. To be honest, it was my mom who actually like introduced me to charcoal pencils because she just found them randomly, I think at a secondhand store, and was like, "These look like something you could use." And I tried them, and I was like, "These are, at least for me, these are so much better than the charcoal sticks." Because I like pencils are where like because I've been drawing since I was like 2 years old, right? Like pencils are where it's at for me. Charcoal sticks are a little bit different to work with in terms of the technique, but charcoal pencils are basically like like using a pencil. So I felt right at home using those, and still do. So I will be eternally grateful to my mother for a lot of things, but that's definitely among them. Because it's not much. There's not many times you can say that like a tool actually like um, basically completely um, transforms your art practice, but charcoal pencils did that for me. Are they super brittle, like nice colored pencils, that you have to be careful not to drop them or you can set them down too hard? They're not quite that brittle. It does. The softer the charcoal pencils get, the harder it is to sharpen. without accidentally like breaking the lead when you get back to actually like drawing with it. But they're not too dissimilar from like just regular pencils. They're not super fragile, thankfully. Um, they're a bit hardier from what I've experienced than those the like the colored pencils you were talking about. All right. Just coming up this way. And now they're off the page. All right, let's see. Suppose I should finish off the page, shouldn't I? There we go. That's better. Now, as far as this goes, let's put in the arm first. Right about here, this shadow breaks off like that. Hey, Sirbot, nice job. Nice job. I'll figure out the rest of those wrinkles later. back of this shirt has a lot of wrinkles in it. One of the hardest things is trying to make wrinkles look realistic. Those things that I feel like I could improve on some more. Most definitely. But that works out for now, I think. Yeah. Just gonna define this hat just a little bit more. There we go. We actually added in some shadow on the hat. All right, so there are our two figures for this piece. All decked up and ready to go, for the most part. There's still some tweaks here and there that I'll do, but for the most part, they're filled in here. Yeah. All right. So I think I'm going to leave it at that for today because still gotta go run some errands with my wife before the shops close and whatnot. But there we go. Let me no, I'll just keep it on here actually. But yeah, thank you all for coming back out. Especially after again my hiatus there. That was unforeseen, but it's good to be back. It's good to see everybody else back in. You know, good to see all of y'all. Thank you for chatting. Thank you for hey, thank you, Retro. I appreciate that. Yeah, thanks for coming in. Thanks for hanging out. Whether you chatted or whether you just lurked, hey, I love it all the same. But yeah, Mark, thank you very much for the raid. Very much appreciated. And also, in case you're lurking in chat, the Winter Bound, thank you for the follow. Followed me off stream. Very much appreciate it. Let's go see who's doing what. See that Lorelei's Lexicons doing some art, so doing some sci-fi drawing. Nice. Nice. Well, let's go say hi to Lorelei. So I'm just going to copy paste this name so that I don't spell it wrong. All right. Let me set up this raid. There we go. So yeah, we're gonna go say hi to Lorelei's Lexicon, doing some sci-fi art. But yeah, thank you all again for coming in. Really do appreciate you. I'm not sure if I'll be able to stream on Sunday. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get off the Undertale stream on Sunday, but we'll see. If not, we'll be back working on this or another drawing. If I happen to get this done in the off season, on next Monday, 6 p.m. Eastern again. But yeah, hopefully, if I don't see you Sunday or Monday, hope you have a fantastic rest of your week, fantastic rest of your weekend. Lovely as always to annoy it. Hey, I like being annoyed by y'all because it's not annoyance at all. But yeah, thank you all for hanging out, and let's go say hi to Lorelai. All right, take it easy, everybody.